Hey, what's up, everybody? Y'all know it's February, and it's that time of year we do a little bit of the Black History shit. Um, and I try to be as original and unique as possible whenever I bring out material this time of year. Nobody wants the same old stale shit. You know what I'm saying? Story, story, story. So I want to talk about the true problems going on when we speak of Black people, for the sake of everyone having a different perspective to think about, right? Um, People talk about slavery, right? Not going to overlook that. Very important. People talk about Jim Crow and then all the things after Jim Crow. So much has happened, legally and politically, um, against our best interest after those things. But one thing that I noticed, movies don't talk about, history books don't talk about. It's a super important issue. You don't see it really anywhere in media when they talk about the history of Black people. And this is going to sound kind of strange, but it is what it is. Um, Also, before I go there, I'm aware that we have this Moorish movement, Moorish Science Temple, and the Moroccans, the Moorish movement, with Noble Drew Ali in America, and then the Moors of antiquity. You see them with the red fez. They were navigating the seas, the Moors of Spain and Europe. Now we know that there were blacks that were free during the time of us, during slavery, and they could come and go as they wished. They even enlisted and joined in the military and fought in the first American War, right, alongside white men and Native Americans, the Indians who were a part of the military, all joined forces and fought. So there were free men and there were slaves. So it's not that I'm saying all Black people came from slavery, but I would say the majority of us did, right? And from my personal perspective, I did my own research on my background. I wasn't able to do heavy research on my paternal lineage, but I was able to do it a lot on my maternal, my mom's side, my mother's side of the family. And our roots on that side of the family came from Alabama. And when you look back far enough, you'll start to see that they didn't even annotate their names. They weren't recording them by names. Uh, when you get back like 1850, 60, 30s, right in that range, you'll start seeing the names no longer on the books. Instead, it'll say boy for men and bitch for woman, right? And then this brings up an important point that I was going to say. Sounds crazy, but it's fact. Is that during slavery, most of the Black people were bred like dogs, right? So when I'm looking at my own history, I even saw notes that they said, boy, strong back, right? Put him with bitch. And they had some bitch name that it wasn't legible on the writing because it was all handwritten. There was no typing or computers on this paperwork. They also had strange measurements, like it was measurements in stones, like his weight. If I recall correctly, it was said 15 stones or some shit, 14 or 15 stones, and the girl was 9 stones or something along that matter. It wasn't in pounds. And I know some gangster ass dog breeders now. I've been talking to some. There's one coach, he's a fucking savage ass dog breeder. And I just need people to understand, like, when you have dogs, you have bad bred dogs, and then you have well bred dogs, right? Some dogs you breed, the genetics are strong, right? So this is out of Black people's control. Our history starts with us with really fucked up lineages because the inception of our species, or our ethnicity in America, I should say. Don't want to use the wrong word here, but you guys know where I'm getting at. Like if we were dogs, this would be the pedigree, right? So our ancestry starts with you choosing superficial reasons to mix people together, almost like some AKC bullshit, confirmation shows and shit. Strong back, smart. This bitch can read. Mix her with this one, right? It has nothing to do with the physiology. Weren't even paying attention to that. Probably weren't intelligent enough to even gauge how healthy psychologically the people that you were mixing were, because it didn't matter to you. We were dogs, right? We're like cattle. I'm not bringing that up to start some tension between people, but I'm bringing it up for black people to kill their ego and then think about all of their problems internally that they've been dealing with, right? How do you get rid of bad genes within a dog? Think about it. When you throw bad bred dogs out into the world, they're miserable. They're suffering. These dogs don't just get better over time. They stay miserable until they die. How do you get a dog breed to stop biting? That's a dog that's biting the master, right? Biting the owner is not a good trait. You want to kill that trait, right? So how do you get rid of it? Think about this. All of the fucked up traits that we have in us have been bred in us from the start. Even the good stuff, though. The good stuff has been bred in us from the start, too. Like I said, you have good breeders and you have bad breeders. You got these backyard breeders. It's like, yeah, I just need a nigga that's strong. Mix these two niggas together. I need a nigga that's fucking gonna be hauling rocks in these wheelbarrows. They're not thinking about anything else. And you know, the movies don't talk about it. They don't talk about it at all. But they'll push this idea that black people, you know, a lot of times you see black people acting up in school, especially at a young age. The kids especially. Oh, you need to see a therapist. You watch Kevin Samuel's show, you talk to the women, oh, you guys need to see therapists. What is a therapist gonna do? What are they gonna tell you? They're gonna be educated by a system that was created by the same people who bred you like dogs. Of course, they should have some idea of what psychological problems we should be experiencing, right? I mean, it's only psychological warfare. But it's crazy. You never hear people talking about this shit. You won't find any black scholar making a major issue about this because their ego is that, oh, I'm perfect. I accept I'm so far less than perfect, and I've had issues I've been working through my whole life, and you know, tracing it back, it's like we're very comparable to dogs, very, very comparable to dogs, and so I'm not critical of a black family outside of my own that you know what I'm saying, I can't help fight the internal battles. I just stay on the sideline and I try to help them the best I can. But it's really sad shit. And when you think about it, this story about the not to bring up other shit, but you got other groups of people talking about the trauma they went through. It's not comparable. It's not comparable. It's not comparable at all. You guys weren't bred like dogs. You know, you guys weren't bred like dogs. So as a result, if you have some genetic issue or some problem going on in your blood that you can't solve or trace back the roots of, it's because you were backyard bred, unfortunately. It's a sad story.